Good weekend, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up, your weekend edition. And this is for Friday, the 30th of September, 2022. Where are the Robin Hood characters? Where's all the meme boys? Okay, I'm not hearing the Reddit boys out there. Why? I want you to think about this. Back in 2007-8, we were in the steep, big-time financial mess. Remember the Great Recession? Seems like it was a history book ago. It wasn't. These guys, 14 years ago, they were probably 20 years old. 18. They weren't looking at the markets. So they've never seen markets like this. This is my concept of it. I bet on it. And the problem with traders is they only learn to do this. I'm going to be a buyer. I'm going to be a buyer. Well, there's this. I'm going to learn to be a seller. I'm going to learn to be a seller. There's this. I'm going to buy an inverted ETF. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. But no, it's not a time to be a buyer in that vehicle, called stocks at times. So you got to look at all that and try to figure out, what does this mean for everybody? And I think that's important. So there's a full generation out there that have never seen bear markets, and they're getting an education. And it comes costly, but they'll remember it, and they'll learn how to play with it. But that's why I think you're not hearing about them. Obviously, the press wants to play it up when once in a while they show up, but if they've been buying in unison right now, I don't care if it's GameStop, I don't care if it's ARK, whatever their favorite things are, you're not hearing diddly, and keep that in the back of your mind. Now, this coming Friday, a week from today, we have the all-important, jobs report. So that's going to give us our first real important number going into the November 2nd FOMC meeting as to what the Fed will or won't do. I'm not thinking it's going to be a terrible number. The whisper I'm hearing is 250,000 new jobs already, but I'm still bothered by the fact that jobless claims dropped to big lows. They haven't seen those lows in a long time. I want them to go up if I'm the Fed. I want people laid off. I want to see that there's, because of the high interest rates and the things that we're doing, me being the Fed, which I'm not, that there's some pain out there. That's what they told us. I'm not making this up. They thought there would be pain. Well, they have caused pain in housing. They have caused pain in the stock market. You're down 25% in some indices tonight from the beginning of the year. So if you think the pain isn't there, how wrong you are. And they're not through. What the market's got to do is take down the price-earnings ratio in stocks to a point where the market says now they're cheap. There are people that buy off of that. Apple was a great example of something I kept telling you, that maybe it's going to the 130 level. Well, I'm close. When it was 160 or so, I was saying that. Now you're back down to a level I'm pretty comfortable that you're getting down into the nitty-gritty numbers of it. Okay, that's how I look at it. Is it a buy? Not yet, but getting there. Okay, Planet Fitness, one of the few markets that was up. I don't know why I picked this one to watch. I happened to read an article on it because they said people are going to cut the cord on their cable boxes and other things, and they're going to go work out. Well, seems to me that they did okay there. But the trend is down. Lower highs, lower lows. You just had a bearish crossover, and so you haven't made the new low yet. In my theory, is that when you get the 18-week average to just cross over a 200-week, that's new bearish number, so this bounce should be met by selling that somewhere along the line takes that out, the 54.15. The market, all it's done is bounce back to get inside the Bollinger Band in 95% of the time. I want you to listen to that. 95% of the time, the market will stay within these black bands. So the guys that are selling in this, you hear from me, the sellers. Why? I think you'll have a better chance within the band. The guys that are trying to buy up in these, no. Why? I think you'll have a better chance in the band. But that's not how people do it. People hear something from a friend, they see it on TV, they read, and they react, okay? Do they look at the charts? No. So the smartest thing you can do, in my opinion, is learn all the technical tools. One of them being Bollinger Bands and the way I tie it together with momentum. Now, when you do that, you're going to also discover that my slow stochastic number won't match yours. When you're one of my paid subscribers, I will give you what you have to modify in your formula to make it work just as mine do. It's that simple. It's very simple to do, and away you go from there. It's certainly that way in all our software. No, I'm not going into your charting software to make the difference, okay? You do that with the people you pay. You're not paying me to do that, okay? I will give you what you have to make the change. Very, very simple. Any programmer that does this in the help department should be able to do it. Some people won't let you change it. They'll say, create a custom formula and use that. I'm giving you the whole formula, so it's easy to do. So that is the way to get around it. It's so simple. Any charting software worth its salt lets you put in your own formulas in there. Okay. So as I look at it, the market is, number one, momentum down, trying to get back into the Bollinger Band. You just had a new bearish momentum signal to the downside. So on a rally, I'm looking for new selling in the market. KBE, first big test again. So we got down and tested the 200-day and the lower band. We also did it back here where the market failed and went to the 200, and that started this whole process. Then we had that June rally, which was a son of a gun rally, right? And now we're back to where the whole thing began. In fact, if you look at the stock indices, most are back to where they were in June. So the great debate will begin again. Are the June lows going to hold or not? In other words, is this area going to hold? I'm of the school, it's not. But I am also of the school that told you it would come down to challenge this, and big names on television and like said, you have seen the low, you're not going back down there. Wrong, you're back down there. Okay. Now, we take a look at where the market is here on XLI. Still in the bear camp, momentum still pointing down. You can get bounces, but there's nothing there to show a change in the market. The energy sector we got to watch for a lot of reasons. OPEC meets this week. It's really OPEC plus because Russia's involved. Russia called for 1 million barrel a day reduction in energy production. I laughed it off thinking, well, they're after the West. They want to hurt in every way in energy they can. I was surprised today when I read that the ministers, and this is the Dow Jones Newswires, was reading it, said that they are considering, that doesn't mean they've gone with it, but they are open to considering 500,000 barrels to 1 million barrel a day cut. I thought they'd go 200,000 or 300,000 and do it in stages. I don't know which one's going to be right, but that surprised me. Did it have any impact today on oil prices? None. So I think people think like I do, that it's nice that they said it, and that gets Russia, we're considering your proposal, but I don't think they're buying into that. Otherwise, I would think you'd rally, and have rallied in the futures rather smartly. Still bearish. Uranium, just sort of caught here. It's not doing what lithium or aluminum did as they've all come alive. This is just sort of sitting right here. It's interesting. In Europe, they're supposed to close down a lot of these nuclear plants. They've run their life cycle. That's what it is. But given they don't have enough energy, you would think that they would let them run a little bit longer. I would. And still wanting to close them or replenish them and whatever you have to do to get that reactor going again. I do believe in nuclear energy, but I'm one of the few I think that do. In GLD, you're still in the bear camp. Why would I be bullish gold when I've got interest rates nowhere over? All right, the Fed is going to raise rates in November. It's a given, okay? Then they'll have another couple of rate hikes into a minimum early on 2023. The big question is, do they run out of what they have to do by March? Do they do it by June? It's something in that time frame, we hope. The word is we hope. If inflation stays sticky, no, they're going to keep going. They will go to the number where inflation, not peaks, goes down in a trajectory that they believe in. That's got to be it. And don't get caught up in the headline number. Look at the core number. That's their favorite number. They tell you that. It's not my opinion. We know that the headline's going to be all over the board because of energy and food. Remember that. Go to the core number. So we'll see what that does. We're going to get all these numbers in October for us to digest again. So it's going to be one of what I call these fun months. The gold miners, well, are they going to lose the embedded reading? They're knocking on the door. When it opens up Monday morning, it should be lost. But that's Monday. You got to wait till Friday. This is a weekly chart. Is this saying, hey, don't sell down here? Oh, yeah, that's what it's saying. You're on the verge of losing it, and if you do, 2671 becomes a potential target. ARK, Kathy Woods keeps buying everything, and you can see how well it is done for her fund. And I watch her on TV, and they give her phenomenal press. Why would a woman whose fund is done this get all that press? It's amazing to me, okay? And they do it because she's well-spoken, because she did have stellar time. She is on track to do just what the stock market is doing. And that's not a bad thing. I think over 5 years, that's her average. So with her stellar performance, she's given it back because the way she does things, it's a time frame. It's not about this year. It's not about next year, and it's not about the year after. It's also about products that are supposedly going to be life-changing in technology. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? So for certain type of people, that's why I cover her. I get it. By the way, there's nothing wrong with investing in a fund like that on declines like this. That I can get. But staying with them too long is where you can get hurt. In Apple was too high of a price. Okay, people aren't buying in an economy where you're scaring the heck out of them with the Fed raising rates, mortgages at 6.7%. You go to the grocery store, you're wondering, where's all my money going? I can go on, right? We know that. And that's what's hurt them. So have they sold the amount of phones they were hoping? They have not. Have they cut production? They have. So what about their PE ratio, which 3 weeks ago or so was at 25 or so? It's got to come in. I've been saying that. I've had a target at wherever the Bollinger Band is for months. As we were coming up here, I said, when it reverses, it could be going back to wherever that number is. And months being 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1 month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 months. So as we were coming there, that's when I was saying it. Not back here, over there. Okay, might have great value down there. I mean, you're going to be able to buy great companies. Please understand what this is going to offer you. You're going to be able to own great companies at reasonably good prices instead of paying up on the multiples. There's nothing wrong with market corrections. It's painful when you're in them, and if you're a trader, as I want you to be with my knowledge, well, then you're playing both sides of the market, okay? Tesla, nothing can just stay up in this market. Now, what bothers me in Tesla, and I get a lot of flack for this, is I can't help but think that we are now going into October. All the big U.S. manufacturers are coming out with these fabulous cars to take it on here. And if you've watched the array out of Korea and China of all these electric cars that are coming out, it's mind-boggling. I mean, when I look at a G, I think it's one of the prettiest cars ever built. I mean, I just look at these things. They're gorgeous. Okay, they look like a Bentley. They don't look like like what you would think they are. And go to an auto show, you'll see what I mean. I've not owned one, so and I know you're going to tell me how bad they are or how great they are. I just haven't owned one. But I buy a car so infrequent. If you live in a big city, New York, Chicago, where are you driving? Do you understand? If I have 2 cars, if I drive each car 1,500 miles, 1,800 miles a year, where am I going? All right? Uber's easier. I live in a great area. I can walk to where I want to go as well. Just how it works in big cities, okay? But not everybody lives in the core of a big city. So I get why you have to keep buying the cars. My brother-in-law was driving 100,000 miles at a shot. It was crazy, okay? He was, by the way, let me tell you a story on that one. He got a Jeep one of these great Jeeps with the big Hemi engine and all, with a lifetime warranty. He's never giving up the car. It's hard to believe. I watch it. It runs phenomenal. He does the body work and all that, has it all done. It looks like the day it came out of the place. Needs a new engine, they put a new engine, a new transmission, a lifetime warranty. It's crazy. Okay, Twitter. It's crazy. You look at how this market's come back up here. All right, so we're in the resistance. I told you all here, I believed in throwing some money away at this for no reason other than I think Elon Musk is going to lose this battle. I think the papers he signed, he was done. He didn't want to do all the compliance work and everything else. He was done. He bought the company, and then he learned in a stock market like this, I don't want that company. I get it. But that doesn't mean you're getting out of it. In addition, it's a great company. So if I'm wrong, owning it at 38, where's it going, 30? I don't know, but it's not going away. And if it can clear this, I think it's going back up. I've always said I think it'll go near 50 when it's all said and done, using the example of LVMH and how they bought Tiffany. Same argument. I don't want it. It's a pandemic. Your numbers aren't there. This is no good. They ended up having to buy it. Why is this any different? TLT, still craning. Until the Fed's done, you do this. Now, you'll get excessive just the way you are, and it'll pull to the right-hand side. Remember that. You'll get your bounces. Nothing stays very long under a Bollinger Band. Over here, nothing over here. Got it? Same thing reverses on the upside. Typically, the most time you spend are 5 weeks in a row, the most, under a Bollinger Band. Then you get back into the numbers. You can do the counting on it. That's the news. So as I told you, the things I look at, you keep hearing me talk these Bollinger Bands, and if you keep coming back, you're watching it because you're fascinated by them. Learn how to do it yourself. There's an ad right after I'm through talking. That's the way to do it. You can follow my finger up here if you want to go on our website under education and read about all this, where it's at. Learn it. I apply it in stocks, ETFs, spiders, futures markets. If you can chart it, you can plot it with this. I'm Ira Epstein. Take a look at this and let's see you. And remember, when you buy this, you get 2 weeks of my research, everything I have thrown in. That value almost pays for the rest of it. Got it? Take care. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all 3 of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.